So I'm looking at the sky, right, and I'm looking at all the clouds fly past, and I'm thinking, wouldn't it just be amazing to be a bird for one day, just to see what they see looking down, and how they can just sort of fly around and dive and just like you see birds, right? They flap their wings and then they stop, and then they like tuck them in, and they paraglide like a rocket, and they sort of go really quick down, and they float up again. Doesn't that just seem so fun to be a bird?
Yeah. I I don't know whether I would. I don't think a bird would be my first pick of animal. I think
Okay,
maybe like a dragon or something.
you'd want to be a dragon.
Yeah, I want to be a dragon because I can burn shit.
When was the last time you saw a dragon?
Maybe in a book.
In a book? What, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings?
I've actually never seen either of those things.
I haven't seen them either. My attention span when I was growing up was awful. So I've never read Harry Potter books, never read Lord of the Rings. I've not even really seen, I don't think I've seen a Lord of the Rings film. I've seen like the first three, four Harry Potter ones, but apart from that, I've never seen Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, Harry Potter. Just said that. Because I was always thinking about how to make millions of quid or whether chicken came before the egg and more important shit than, Harry Potter.
Yeah, I've never been one for movies. I don't have the attention span for them. I know that they can be beneficial, but I feel like it's just a distraction from like being in your life.
Yeah, it's like fake shit is someone else's reality. And so most people focus on so many other stuff that isn't real, like films and books and stuff like that, and they don't actually create their own reality. And even though watching Netflix and films are good and listening to music is good, if you spend so much time on other people's like brain and fantasy and dreams, because that's what everything is, it's just someone else's thoughts, you'll never have time to focus on your own, and you'll feel like your whole life has just disappeared. And with Netflix series being like hours and hours and hours long, no wonder time is flying past because we're focused on stuff for like 8 hours. Whereas back in the day, we just have nothing to do apart from just sort of meditate, look up at the stars, wait for the next meal, and time would fly past, which is why everyone says, Jesus, why is time flying so quick? It's because our brains are engaged in so much stuff that they don't actually have time to do nothing.
I'm not really sure what to say to
Oh, okay. Um,
that.
what's your thoughts on like people wearing glasses?
I uh I wear glasses myself. I haven't been wearing them for a while. I was supposed to get laser eye surgery, but it never worked out because of everything going on. But I definitely prefer contacts.
Do you think that people wearing glasses are making them more blind because their eye muscles are not being used, so they're becoming weak? Whereas if you just rely on the lens, then you're relying on essentially man to fix your eye, and nature's not allowing itself to fix itself. Like looking further away strengthens the eye muscle. I think that people who just go to glasses, they're killing their eyes.
I don't really know much. I don't really know enough to have an actual opinion about it. Like I would need to research in order to formulate my own opinion.
So you're hippie, right?
You could say that.
So you're all about meditation as opposed to medication, yeah?
Yes.
What is your thoughts on medicine?
I was on medication for a lot of different mental illness diagnosis for 3 years. And I believe that they served me for a time, but they just numbed out the feelings that I was experiencing. Like the feelings that I was experiencing were too intense at the time. So I believe that the medication served me at that time. But when my system was ready to process all of the emotions and the feelings and the pain, then I believe that it was time for me to come off them and feel all of the emotions. So from that experience, I believe that everything can serve a purpose in its own time. But I definitely, I don't know, with my experience, I can see multiple perspectives.
Yeah, so I had Tourette's when I was 10. What were you saying?
You keep going. I don't remember now.
Okay. So I had Tourette's when I was 10 years old, right? Until I was 20, I was on like really powerful medication, the same medication or part of the medication that's used for schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, the voice in your head slows down the voice in your head. What is the voice in your head? It's just your neurons firing up. The more you use your brain, the better your brain becomes using energy, and therefore you have more energy, like a car alternator and a battery. It charges itself. So the more you think, the more your brain starts to think, and you just drive yourself crazy. So obviously Tourette's is brain activity, and I was on it for 10 years. And you're right, it just suppressed my. The reasons why I was twitching was because my brain was active. I was trying to work out stuff, and the medication suppressed my brain muscle, where I couldn't work out the stuff I was trying to work out. So the twitching stopped because I was thinking less, but the problem was still there, aka I had questions like, is there a God? How is God floating in the sky? What does he have for dinner if there's no cafes up there? Stuff like that. And my brain never actually processed all the information until I came off the medication when I was 21. And that was when I was enlightened. I learned to meditate. I learned the law of attraction, power of the mind, came off medication, and it all happened in one go. Um, so actually, for me, the medication was completely a waste of time. If somebody had said basically meditate or sat there and answered my questions, chicken or the egg, why is there the law, why is there politics, how do fish live in the ocean, they breathe with oxygen but they don't have a mouth, like all the questions that made me twitch. If I had somebody answer those questions, then I wouldn't have needed medication to slow the brain down to suppress the twitching symptoms. So it's like, okay, this kid's normal, he's not twitching anymore. But then the next day when I don't take the tablet, I'm twitching again. So it's back to it's then again, it's take another tablet. It's just like fucking throw money at it if it doesn't work, you know? Like government and stuff, just throw more money at a situation and hopefully it gets better. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the people and understanding issues. So I'm actually really against majority of medication. I do think it is all to do with profit.
Yeah, I definitely think that the whole system is engineered to, society is engineered to create dependency, and a lot of people are out to make profit for sure. I just like, for my own experience, sitting with all of my thoughts, like meditating, yes, is definitely helpful and useful. I just felt like at the time, for me, it was just too overwhelming because I had like so many thoughts. Like I didn't know how to sit with them. Like maybe if I had a mentor or a teacher at the time, it would have been very useful. I definitely agree. But I don't know. I don't really believe in right or wrong or good or bad or anything like that. I'm pretty, my perspective is pretty open and I try to be as neutral as possible. Like I definitely have things that charge me and like
Like
that
what? Like what?
are something that's mainly I've been working on through the past, well, my over my whole life is like my charges on religion. I grew up in a Christian household where there was a lot of fear and control in my reality. So I guess I have a lot of charges like whenever I feel like I'm being manipulated or controlled. I guess like that was just my own creation, but it was my reality at the time. So like even now I'm still like reprogramming my mind to be like, okay, like you're safe, like no one's trying to control you. You make all of the shots now, like you call all the shots, you make all the decisions.
Yeah, I find that this thing about feeling like someone's trying to control you, no one's controlling you. It's you're gaining control of yourself. And when somebody else says to do something, something like just, do you want to go to McDonald's, or we should go out to get our hair cut. We take it as a threat of somebody saying we now have to get our hair cut when they're simply just saying they're going to get their hair cut. Let's go out and do it together. And it's not a direct threat or they're trying to control you. Like we can say, actually, I don't fancy McDonald's. And it'll be, okay, what else should we get? Nothing. Or let's go KFC. Or it'll be, I don't want my hair cut. Oh, okay. I was the same. Every time people used to say something, I would see it as a threat, like they were trying to control me and make me do what they wanted them to do. And I realized that they're just simply saying, let's do something. Most people follow, most people tell each other what to do, and everyone follows. Let's go out, let's do this, let's do that. And because they're followers, they're happy to oblige and follow. Whereas a leader like me, if I'm getting told to do something or tidy your bedroom by my parents, I took it as a control thing, like a threat, like, don't fucking tell me what to do. I'll do it when I want to do it. Um, so I saw it as a threat, like they're trying to control me, but they're not trying to control me. It's from parenting, you tell your kids what to do. But as I became an adult, I became that person who was starting to get in control of myself. So when they told me to do something, I saw it as a threat of telling me what to do, but it wasn't. And you're right. Rather than people going on medication for ADHD, Tourette's, autism, Asperger's, ADD, fucking OCD, all the fucking three-letter syllable fucks, right? CIA,
Mhm.
FBI, blah blah blah. You should what they should really do is have mentors of people who had those issues growing up, who found solutions and cures, like me, for example, meditation. Um, Cured my Tourette's basically. So you need somebody who's gone through that part and said what they did to heal themselves without medication. This is why a lot of people are depressed and have anxiety forever and ever and ever. Because when they're younger, they feel in the pressures of life and going from a child to an adult. I need to go to university. What do I do? Parents drive me crazy. I need a girlfriend. Am I bisexual? Am I gay? Am I trans? Blah, 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 blah. Do I chop my cock off? Am I vegan? Hashtag vegan cat. All that shit, right? They've got so much shit going on in their head that they're going to get anxiety. And what they need to do is just go through their thoughts and work their shit out. Like, rather than go on medication to suppress their anxiety and depression, they need to simply just write their thoughts on a piece of paper, go through the stuff that they're trying to work out. Is that important? Is that not important? Where do I want to go for university? What do I want to do? What do I like? People just, it just becomes the norm of everyone's got shit going on at that stage. Go on antidepressants, go on sleep tablets, rather than actually finding the solution or the permanent resolution of the problem, which is thoughts. It all comes down to brain activity and thoughts, and it can all be solved by meditation. All meditation is not thinking about the thoughts that are coming into your head. Yes, they might be important, but learning to meditate and calm those thoughts gives your brain 5 minutes peace. And then you can go back to the important thoughts like, I need to pick my child up from school. I need to shut the window, otherwise it's going to get wet. Those are important thoughts. But all the other thoughts like, what do I do tonight? Am I going to go out? Do I buy some new clothes before I go out, or do I give the clothes to my friends? All that's so much brain activity, and it's just clutter and bullshit. And this is why everyone's got so many issues. And it's a humanity thing where it all comes down to meditation. Honestly, if everything is in our head, okay, thoughts and brain activity, meditation is calming thoughts and brain activity. Any problem can be solved by meditation. Tourette's, OCD, Asperger's, ADHD, ADD, fucking autism, everything is in our head. Think about it, right? Autism is where you can't engage with society. You're in your head all the time, so you have the ability to work things out, hence why they're smart. But you can't look at people. Imagine nowadays everyone's on their phone. No one can speak anymore. Everyone's in their head. Everyone's processing what's on their phone in their head. They're not allow themselves to explain how they feel. They're not communicating. They're not having eye contact with people. Everyone's becoming autistic because that's all an autistic person is.
You're throwing out a lot of labels here. Do you believe in labels?
I don't believe in labels, but the labels are names given by the doctor's institution, glossary, health, whatever, to define that person. So that person's twitching, he's shouting fuck, he's got Tourette's. That person doesn't like the word no, he's obsessed, OCD. That person's in his head, can't make eye contact with you, autism. That person is running around like a fucking chimpanzee in the woods, ADHD. Okay, they're just names given by the doctors to give a name for this type of child growing up. So now it's okay. Well, how did we heal the children before? Generations before, what solved them? Therapy, medication, injections, fucking okay, don't give them crisp and chocolate, cut out sugar from their diet. So all these things are now what you call the solution to the problem. Nowadays, it's just increase the dose, right? Increase the medication dose, and then that miraculously cures the problem. Yeah, it may seem like that person isn't getting obsessed anymore, or he's not twitching, or he's not swearing,
But
or
it's
he's not,
suppressed.
huh?
It just suppresses.
Yeah, or he's not running around the fucking playground whilst all the other children are sat in the corner reading a book like like a good little person, right? So it's like, okay, well, the problem's being cured, but that person hasn't got the energy anymore. He's just sitting there like a fucking robot, like he's just like on a, like he's just taking some heroin. He's just like he can't do anything. His brain's being taken over by this drug. He's not got the energy to run around or to twitch and swear or to, you know what I mean? So it's like the problem has been cured. Well done, doctors. You've got the normal kid now. But then that problem is the same problem in when you come off the medication, the problem's still there. It's like holding in a big fart. Okay? Just because you haven't farted doesn't mean it's disappeared. It's somewhere inside you. Now you're gonna fart. And you notice that when you hold a fart in, the longer you hold a fart in, the more farts you hold in, the bigger the fart is when you eventually release it. For me, that was 10 years worth of Tourette's, 10 years worth of brain activity when I was 21. I processed. That's like holding in a big fart for 10 years, and it all came out. I was aware of all this amazing knowledge, chicken or the egg, God. Like, I saw everything. I was spiritually awakened. I saw people's pain. I saw everything. I became a god. So the medicine did fuck all.
How long ago did you wake up?
When I was 21, 21 years old, I started to listen to all these YouTube videos all through the night. Okay, and used to wake up having listened to 8 hours worth of all these amazing videos, like everything you could ever know. 3 weeks later, after listening to all these videos, a mixture with coming off my medication, my brain had never had so much freedom to think. But it was also thinking about all the stuff I was listening to during the night. And of course, I'd left school at that point, so I wasn't flooded with bloody Henry VIII and where Pakistan is on the map and how India conquered whatever. Yeah, bollocks basically from school. Science and nonsense that I don't need to know about. Algebra, 1+1=2. Now it was just no medication, my brain's free, and now whatever I listen to during the night, I'm thinking about during the day. And I became so in tune. I literally turned my phone off and I turned my phone on when my mum was going to call me. And then she called me. I could think of anyone, I would see them. I was so in tune that I was thinking and manifesting immediately as soon as I walked out the house. I think of somebody, I go to the supermarket, bang, they were there. I'd see that person's sibling and I'd see the brother, bang, they were there. I became so in tune.
That's so neat. I've had experiences where I've done this too.
Told
It's
you.
like you think about someone and they call you, or like you think about them and then they show up. Like it's like
Yeah,
summoning them.
yeah. You feel like you're stalking them or you have this control over them. But again, it's nothing to do with that. It's just like magnetic energy. Like, tell me your best law of attraction story where you've literally thought of someone or whatever and you come across them. Like, you go for a walk and then they're there. Like, the best
Um,
story, like somebody not seen in years.
yeah. So when I was a little kid, I dreamed I lived in a small town in the country and I dreamed of moving to a big city. Classic story. I wanted I wanted a big box in the sky. I wanted two bunnies. I wanted a Jack black boyfriend. And like I didn't ever see how this was gonna happen because I was just like this small little small little girl trapped in her parents' house. Like I was like 16 years old. And I moved I ended up having an opportunity to move out west to Manitoba. So I'm like, this isn't the city, but I'll take it. And so I ended up there, and my black boyfriend, he got posted there with the military he was supposed to be there for 4 years. And when I was out there, I got I got really depressed because it was like another small town. Like I wasn't like manifesting what I wanted. Like I wanted to be in the city. I wanted my rabbits.
And my big black cock. My 10-inch schlong.
Well, I guess I had that. I had that in Manitoba. But I was like stuck out there. I felt really trapped for like 4 years. And then all of the sudden, we ended up posted to Toronto. I don't know how. And then it just like it all happened so quickly. And I have no idea how because like when you get a posting with the military, normally you're there for like 4 years, but it happened within 6 months. And it was like out of the blue. And just like everything that I wanted, everything that I had visualized from the time I was 17. It took like, I don't know. I was like 20 when I moved here. So like it took like a good 4 years. But ever since, like I realized that I could literally attract whatever I wanted. Maybe like I was able like maybe how I got here is like when I decided to like fully let go of like my expectation of how I was gonna get here. But like I guess that's like the craziest thing. I what are your secrets to manifestation?
So I believe that there's like two types of law of attraction, like main types. There's like thinking I need to go to the shop to get some milk, and then I need to go to my friend's house to pick up my jacket. That's what I call thoughts, physical manifestation. So you take action and you physically move towards that goal. And then there's law of attraction in terms of physics and science and energy, which is you create something that doesn't yet exist, often bringing stuff to you, like your black boyfriend, like moving to the city, and you attract all these people to come to you. So they align themselves up to you. So if you are going to McDonald's tonight with your whatever your friends, and this other guy, for example, your black guy before you met him, he would also be thinking about going to McDonald's because his thoughts are in tune with your thoughts. You're on the same frequency. So he wants this pretty little girl and you want this big black guy with the big cock, right? And so now the universe is aligning up. Who also wants a guy with the big black cock? And which big black cock guy wants a girl who's really small and pretty, right? And the universe essentially lines it up together, like matches the frequencies. And now you just have to trust your gut and go to McDonald's. And then he trusts his gut, then goes to McDonald's. And often it's not the cheeseburger that you end up buying. It's, oh my God, I was meant to come here because I wanted this guy, he wanted this girl, and that's the reason why you met. But it's like, okay, where's like the meeting point? It's like, where is the meeting point for these two people to meet? And they go through your thoughts. She likes pizza, she likes McDonald's, she likes going clubbing. Okay, he doesn't like clubbing, he doesn't like pizza, but he does like McDonald's. So now he sort of picks up the thought about McDonald's and he's like, hey bro, do you want to go to McDonald's tonight? I'm hungry. Yeah, I'll pick you up at 7. And then you're like, well, my parents were late. So I ended up being delayed to go to McDonald's. So that extra 10 minutes was the difference between him going there at 7 and you being there at 7 because you technically would have been there 10 minutes earlier because your parents were late. You know what I'm trying to say, right? So every single bit of time adds up. And before you know it, bang, you're there. So that law of attraction is about attracting things, often people, because you can't attract a place, you can go to that place, but you can attract the people who can bring you to that place. So you want this house, for example, you meet this person in the street who is selling this perfect house. So you bring that person into your life and he then brings that place to you in terms of manifesting it into your life. But the law of attraction for me is attracting people and their thoughts based on your thoughts on what you are wanting, and then together you create that life you want. So for the house, for example, does that make sense?
Yeah, so you just like think about what you want and focus on attracting it.
So anything I think about that I haven't yet got, I know I'm going to get. And I know I'm going to get it by taking action. And by action, I mean trusting my gut. If I suddenly get the urge to go to the supermarket and I don't really have a reason why, that's often a sign that something is going to be there, or I'm going to see somebody to trigger off an idea or something because it's what I want. So it's not that I need some Pringles, for example, or some Doritos. It's I'm going there for another purpose. And I've learned to always trust my gut because when I trust my gut, that's when things happen. Like it's the off chance, for example, like, oh, looking back, oh, I didn't plan to go shopping and this happened. Wow, if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have seen this person. Whereas if I needed some butter or some milk, for example, I would have gone there and I probably would have just got butter and milk, and that'll be the end of it. So for me, it's trusting my gut, and then the things that I want end up happening. Everything that I want, I get. It manifests everything. I'm just used to it by now. I just think about things and I see people and I think, and then it just happens. It just happens. It's just normal. My first podcast that I did, I thought about how am I going to get people to do podcasts, and I decided to go to London, and I knew I'd meet this guy, and I was walking around, and I got the urge to go to part of London, and this guy was there, and he knew everything that I knew, every single damn thing that I knew, he knows. So in terms of a frequency, he was a high frequency. Most people don't know the stuff that I know, so they're on a lower frequency, but he was on the same frequency. So I trusted my gut. I went to London and I met him. I came home, I told my parents, I met him. And the night before they said, don't be so stupid. You can't just go up to random people. You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean I'm not supposed to do that? Just watch. And I went back and I said, well, I found my guy and we did a podcast. And he knows everything that I knew. Law of attraction. I trusted my gut. I knew what I wanted and I manifested it, baby.
That's so amazing. You're very inspiring. I know that I can have everything that I want to. It's just like for me, like tuning into my gut, like knowing the difference between like a delusion in my head or like my actual gut feeling.
Yeah, like,
I feel like I have all these voices in my head that are always trying to like trick me. Like it makes me feel crazy. Like I'm really focusing on tuning into my body and like I'm I feel things. Like I'd say that feeling is like my strongest sense, like my sense. But like I get confused in my feelings a lot because I feel so much. And I feel like not only am I feeling my own desires and my own thoughts, but like I feel like I'm in like I tap into other people's energies and frequencies and I don't always know whether it's my own or whether it's somebody else's.
see that's really amazing because I know exactly what you mean. You because we're empaths, right? We tune into other people's emotions and feelings, and we want to help everyone. So if we see like an old lady, sort of who's just like slow walking, you think she's dying, right? You feel that energy and you want to help her. Or you see like this negative person whose boyfriend's just cheated on him or whatever, and you tune into that person and you get that nervous energy, that feeling sick energy, and you start to feel low and depressed. And it affects me as well because I'm in tune to everything, every animal. I know when animals are looking at me. I'm on a walk here, and I suddenly look in front. There's a frog. I have a frog dar. Okay, what I mean by that is that when I go and walks at night time, it's dark. I just suddenly know there's a frog there, and I just know. I'm thinking I could have easily trod on him, but I just know that there's a frog there. How do I know? Well, like quantum physics, when you observe a particle, it knows that it's being watched basically, and it becomes a wave. That frog is looking at me, which means he's observing me, which means now I'm not a particle, I'm a wave. And that's how I know when the frog is there, because I feel the difference that someone's looking at me. Like when a squirrel's looking at me, I know where to look. There's all the trees there. There's loads of trees, and I know a squirrel is looking at me over there. Well, there's an owl, and I just know this shit. Anyway, back to the thing about energies. If I eat really shit, I feel bad. If I want something, like I'm trying to think of an idea or whatever, and I can't get there, I feel nervous and I feel sick. But at the same time, I could go on a walk, right, and pick up other people's energies, and I have this nervousness. I don't, for no reason. I just have this nervousness, right? And it's like when you go into a room and there's loads of negative people there, you become that energy. And it's true. You don't know whether it's your own self in terms of what you've eaten, what you've had to drink, whether it's a sign from God saying you left the door unlocked, so go back and, or my child's in danger, or there's just somebody there who is negative, or you're picking up their thoughts. And you have to find a way to differentiate whose what someone else's thoughts, because most of the time our thoughts are based on our five senses, what we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Apart from that, can you hear me?
Now I
I think
can.
it's reconnecting right there.
Yeah.
He's so okay. What bit do you get up to?
You said a lot of things. I
Hang on,
don't
say it again.
remember specifically.
Did you did you get up to the boob job bit?
No.
Fuck me. Oh Christ. Okay. Let's just go back. Bloody hell. Last thing I remember is boob job. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Other people's thought. Most of our thoughts are other people's thoughts. Whether it's our friends thinking about us or adverts and you need to buy this, you need to get that. So most of our thoughts are not actually our own. Our thoughts are made up of our what we see, what we touch, what we taste, what we smell, blah 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 blah. Most of the stuff we think about isn't our own thoughts. So that's why it's very important to differentiate what is my thoughts and me and what I want in my life compared to what is somebody else trying to do to control me, influence me, to get me to buy this. Um, what was your question? What was my question?
I don't remember. We
Fuck's
were
sake, your
talking
Wi-Fi is
about,
awful.
pardon?
I said your Wi-Fi is awful. So what do you, let's just continue. So can you still see me for a start?
Yes, I
And
can,
can
and
you
I
still
can
hear
hear you.
me?
Yes.
Okay, right. So did I answer your question?
I don't even remember what my question was.
I don't know what your question was either. Um, um, can you go towards your router or as close to your router as possible because it's you look
I'm as
like
close
Satan.
as I can possibly get. It's just that I live in a house and there's 5 people on the internet right now.
I think you need to meditate 'cause your energy is becoming too intermittent. It's creating a surge. It's causing an interference with yourWi-Fi. I
Okay,
think you need to
well,
meditate.
I'll meditate for like a minute and then it will be recharged and it will be good.
No, seriously, like when I do Skype calls with people and they're very like energetic, it causes an interference. I'm not even kidding. Like human energy has an effect on Wi-Fi. Like I used to be on my computer at night time, all through the night, and the Wi-Fi used to always go down, and that's because I was so frustrated with the website I was trying to create, and I realized it was me creating more frustration because it was my frustration blocking the Wi-Fi. So it's a vicious circle. It was like Satan fucking me in the ass and then Satan fucking me in the mouth. I was fucked both ways because I needed the Wi-Fi to make the website, and I also needed my own, and I also was getting frustrated about the website being down because of the Wi-Fi, which is because of me. It was a vicious circle. I mean, it was all because of me. I was always the problem. Um, yeah. What's your
When I
thoughts
go
on
to the
Chris?
grocery store, when I go to the grocery store, I can't go through self-checkout because they will fuck up the machines. Every
Okay,
single
so this,
time I go
so
through self-checkout, I fuck up the machines.
okay, so this is absolutely incredible because this happened to me. Um, fuck's sake, your Wi-Fi shit. Okay, just tell me that story because I'll tell you my story about the same thing.
No, that's basically the story. Every time I go through a cash register, the what's that called? The thing that takes your payment, that will always break, or the actual scanner will break. It just always breaks. It's useless.
Oh, fuck's sake. Hang on. You sound like a robot. I mean, Jesus Christ. Okay, fuck's sake. Um, just quickly turn off your Wi-Fi so it connects to 3G and then quickly turn back on the Wi-Fi a minute afterwards. Does that make sense?
I don't have access to the router because it's in the other apartment upstairs. What I can do is I can switch to my data because I have a lot of data.
Uh, hang on. Have you got 3G?
I think I have 4G.
Okay, quickly connect to 3G on your phone and turn off the Wi-Fi just for 1 minute. But please don't press airplane mode because that will fucking shut it down. All right, you connected to 3G?
Is that better?
You connected to 3G and not Wi-Fi.
I'm connected to my data network. I don't know how to connect it to 3G, but it's on LTE, whatever that means.
Oh bloody hell! This is a disaster. Okay, so you're not connected to Wi-Fi, no?
No, I'm not. I'm connected to data.
Okay. Oh God. Okay. Um. Okay. Try resetting the Wi-Fi and just keep talking via 3G for a bit, and then when the Wi-Fi comes back on, reconnect.
Is it not working right now?
I mean, you look like a cartoon character, um like I don't know, Ariel or something. I mean, your face is frozen, but you look like a cartoon. Okay, so yeah, so tell me your story about the interfering with the checkouts. Oh my God, I can't even hear you now.
I turned the Wi-Fi back on.
Okay. Um, Let me know when it reconnects and try telling your story again and see if I can hear you.
The story is just that every time I go to use a self-checkout, there's
Right, fucking hell.
always
Stop. It's just not working. Um, we'll have to do sign language instead. I mean, do you understand sign language?
We could do interpretive dance. I like interpretive dance.
Say again.
Interpretive dance.
One more time, please.
Interpretive dance.
I think you said interpreted events.
Dance.
Oh my God, Jesus, where the fuck are you? Middle of a mountain? What is going on? It's your shitty phone, isn't it? Have you got a laptop?
No. I have
Oh
a
my.
shitty phone.
So have you got a laptop?
No.
Jesus. Oh God, what am I going to do? Um, People would have switched off by now. Okay, have you connected back to Wi-Fi?
Yes.
So Wi-Fi's on.
Yes.
Oh God. Oh God, this is awful. I don't know what to do. I have to call 999 or 911. Hello, what's your emergency? I'm on a Wi-Fi call and it's really blurry. Can you send over the technician? Sir, this is for emergencies only. How can we help you? I've got some Wi-Fi issues. Sir, I told you we can only. um, okay. Oh God. Okay, go on. If it's that bad, we'll have to stop and then do it another way. Right, continue again.
Do you have Zoom? I find that Zoom works better for my phone for some reason.
It's just not gonna work, is it? It's just not gonna work.
Maybe it's not meant to be.
Right, this is just. I'm gonna have to stop this. Hang on. Okay, try one more time with your story. Are you talking or are you playing games or is it the Wi-Fi?
I'm not talking. The story
Oh
is
bloody!
stupid. Let's move on.
Right. Maybe the story about you interfering with systems is exactly what's happening now.
I
You're
think
interfering with systems and you're shutting down the Wi-Fi and the tills and the phone connection. So maybe it is you causing a fucking interference. Let's speak about how intelligent dolphins are and how they literally can know what you're thinking. Like there was a story about a dolphin grabbing a person and taking it down to the bottom of the ocean, and then the human like signaled how it couldn't breathe, and then the dolphin brought it back up. Did you hear about that story?
I've never heard of this. I know that animals are very intelligent beyond our understanding, though.
Have you ever swum with dolphins?
I have not. I've swam with sharks, though.
What would you say you swam with? A pigeon.
Sharks.
Did you say you
Shark.
swam with a camel? It's a bit fuzzy.
Sharks.
See, what I'm hoping is that when people get to this point, they end up skipping. So we don't need to stop completely. They just have to skip for 10 minutes. It's not a big issue, is it really? It's just part of life now. No one's speaking anymore in terms of being connected to real humans. So we now literally have to be connected to robots, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm connected to a robot in Toronto. And sometimes the robots aren't going to function as they should. And that's just the way life is. So it's no biggie, really, is it? I mean, try walking around your house because I think you've charged your atmosphere where you are. I think you need to sort of move around to sort of disperse the energy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck me, I'm a genius. It worked.
We're
Fucking
back.
worked. It was you charging your bloody couch. Oh, what the fuck, man? I'm a genius. Anyway, so this is just a fine example, yeah, of how human energy interferes with situations. Like whoever's watching right now, if you're watching, you would have just witnessed her trying to tell the story about her energy interferes with the checkouts at supermarkets. So she has to go to the human checkout. Bloop, place your items in the bagging area. Bloop, sprouts. No, you fuck, it's a pair of socks. Bloop, air freshener. No, bloop, no. Right. So, and she moves where she was, okay, because her energy was like destroying the signal to the Wi-Fi. So now she's moved and she's come back. Right. Now tell your story.
It's not even a story. It's just literally I was reiterating the fact that I disturb all of the electronic signals that I come encounter with. It's
Yeah.
like computer shut off. Like this is a real thing.
Yeah, no, it's true. You just did it.
It got me out of doing some work in high school because whenever I had to go use the computer, it wouldn't work.
Fucking hell, man! Keep going. This is amazing. I'll tell you my story afterwards, but keep going about that.
Oh, that's literally it.
Honestly, that's phenomenal because what you're talking about just happened. It's fucking amazing. Anyway, so my story, right? Obviously, when I was 21, I was enlightened, came off medication, so my brain had so much power. I learned all this law of attraction, power of the mind, positive vibration, trusting the unknown, and I used to. I remember once I went to a ticket machine and two tickets came out. I remember um, interfering with things like the Wi-Fi used to go down, and I remember. But so I used to be able to turn on my Mac, my computer. So the Mac I'm using now, right? At night time, I used to be able to go into deep meditative state, which I used to believe it was my grandma who was a ghost. She used to come in my room and sort of turn on my Mac to let me know she was here, but it wasn't actually her. It was me. So my energies actually turned on the Mac, and I could essentially hold that charge and then turn the Mac off when I wanted it to turn off. And that was essentially Grandma leaving. So she would turn on the Mac, she was here. When she turned off, she fucked off back to the spirit world, right? Or back to the cupboard or the wall where she came from, or the vase, right? And so that was my own energy interfering with the Mac. I remember once I turned off my TV via my mind, it just suddenly cut off, right? I can literally make my TV click. So I could be in my bedroom, I just have to focus like not on the TV. I've realized that when you focus on the TV, it doesn't click. When you focus on a ghost, it doesn't make a noise. When you know the ghost is going to make a noise, the ghost makes a noise. When you know the TV is going to click, the TV clicks because you can't observe what you are, the particle. Do you know about quantum physics?
Not much.
Bubble slit experiment.
Pardon?
Slit experiment.
No.
So when you observe a particle, it becomes a wave, right? When you observe something, it changes it. So if I'm observing the TV and I want it to click, it's not going to click. But when I just trust the fact it's going to click, my energy absorbs all the static charge from that TV and it clicks, like you in the supermarket, like you in the computer. It takes the energy and it malfunctions because it functions on a current. It functions on static energy. And you take that charge or you interfere with the charge, like you interfered with the Wi-Fi connection and fucked up my podcast, yeah? Listeners are listening and you became a bloody robot. So we spent 10 minutes trying to get it back. Anyway, you're always a problem. My parents said I was a problem. It was me. I was a problem, but not literally. It was just me creating too much energy in the house. So when I was going through all of this, right, the words were, you are interfering with everything. You always interfere with everything. Interference, energy, right? Intermittent. I always cause a problem. Intermittent. You made my Wi-Fi connection intermittent. You made the tills intermittent. Surge. Surge of energy. So all this energy comes into the room and people are affected by it. Think about all these words. Intermittent, interference, surge. They're all terms used by electronic companies and energy companies, but we are the same. So we cause an interference, an intermittence, a surge. Anyway, so and I managed to control my computer. I managed to things wouldn't work. I literally would go to the tills or a machine or something and it wouldn't work. And I'd be there and he'd be, I'm really sorry, sir, but the computer doesn't work. I'm like, no problem, no problem. It was me. I would call up companies, I call up companies online, eBay, PayPal, and banks and stuff, and to sort something out, and they'd be like, "Oh, there's simply a problem with your account," or "No worries, I understand." But it was me. It was my energy creating these problems or doing something which caused an interference. Like it was me causing these issues, and the banks were like, "Oh, we're gonna have to call you back, sir. We're having technical difficulties." Oh, has this happened before? No, it seems to have just happened. Oh, oh, okay. I'm really sorry to hear that. No, sir, we are sorry that we are unable to serve you. I'm like, no, no, I understand, but it was me. It was me. I remember, right? Heathrow Airport systems went down and there was flight delays. I remember saying to myself, that was me. Now, looking back, it probably wasn't me, but I thought it was me because I was aware of like my interference, right? Companies were going down. Facebook, the lottery website was going down. Again, I thought it was me at the time because of my energy interference and what I was doing. I was doing things too quick on their websites, so it was like it couldn't cope with me at a speed I was doing shit. Right? What I was doing on Facebook, right, is I was pressing the X on all of the adverts, the X on all friend suggestions, the X on all like Candy Crush and apps. So imagine the algorithm of Facebook that shows you, do you know this person? It's an algorithm, right? So they know, for example, that if you go to a party and meet Chris and meet whoever's there, that Chris is going to go to a party with somebody else, and he might be like, "Hey, come and meet me." So now you're going to go there, right? So now you called like mutual friends. Facebook does the same thing. It's an algorithm. It knows that if you've met this person, you probably might meet this person. So imagine the algorithm is aligned up that you're going to meet this person and then you might have another barbecue in 2 weeks and you might meet this person. The algorithm aligns up your Facebook account to that person's Facebook account. I pressed X on all of these people, right? So essentially it's the algorithm saying, right, you're probably going to become mutual friend with this person, aka in the future I'm going to come to Canada because I've done a podcast with you. I'm going to meet Chris. I'm going to meet your black boyfriend, and we're all going to go out together. And I'm going to meet your ex and your dog and your mum or whatever. So now it's like, okay, you might know this person's mum. You might know this person's dog. So we'll show this person's dog and this person's mum on Facebook because they might be a mutual friend. Are you following me so far?
Mm-hmm.
So I was pressing the X on all of the suggestions, which is basically the prediction of the future of who you're going to meet. So now I was thinking of these people before I'd actually met them and then gone onto Facebook and seeing that this person's a mutual friend or you might know this person. I was going out and seeing these people before the events were happening on Facebook, right? Okay. And I essentially was saying to these people, we're going to end up doing something with this person next week. And they're like, oh, but how do you know that? Oh, I just know. And then, for example, the friend will be like, hey, let's have a barbecue. And it'll be like, how did you know? How the fuck did you know? Right? And it'll be, I'm thinking of all these people before Facebook algorithm says I'm going to meet them, and I'd meet them in my life. Like, as I said, I'll go to supermarket, I'll go McDonald's, I'll go for a walk, and these people were here. So now I was going into the future from Facebook's algorithm because it's all connected. Like, we're on the same frequency, we are like-minded people, so we're going to eventually connect to like-minded people. It's the same as Facebook. They know that these people are going to meet these types of people. If you have these interests in these types of things, you're more likely to be friends with these types of people. If you like sport, if you like football, if you like basketball, then you might connect with these people. It's the same thing for the future. I know as I keep moving forward in my life, I'm going to find people on the same frequency as me. But the algorithm on Facebook was based saying that you're going to meet these people. But I had an access, an insight to the future of who was going to come into my life based on Facebook's algorithm. And I was thinking about these people before Facebook said you might know these people. And all of a sudden, I was doing things in the future before they actually had happened. How amazing is that? Does that make sense?
You're a wizard.
Does that make sense, though?
Probably a certain percentage of it. You talk very quickly, and my brain processes very slowly.
For the listeners, they can rewind back and go through what I said step by step. Unfortunately for you, if you want to know what I said, you're going to have to go to talkwitholiver.com, click on your podcast, and rewind forward and then rewind back just so you can hear it. It says, check out some tips. Facebook going into the future. Condoms.
Literally what my brain registers when I communicate with you.
But yeah, you understand what we're saying, right?
Partially, yes.
Yeah. So basically, that all came from basically being able to control and interfere with systems. Like the law of attraction, energy, you can attract people, but you can also interfere with systems. So essentially, I used to work at a restaurant, right? It's called Nando's. 11 o'clock was when the restaurant closed. I didn't want customers in at the restaurant at that time because otherwise I'd miss my train. So I used to say to the universe, make sure everyone leaves by 11 o'clock. They would all they would all leave by 11 o'clock. And my manager's like, fuck, we're down on profits. We need to start opening a bit later because we're not going to be able to pay our bills. I'm like, yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? Fucking terrible. We're going to have to start doing promotions. But it was because of me that they were leaving in the first place. So it's like I had the ability to get customers to leave the restaurant at exactly 11 o'clock. And I'd finish and get the train. Every single time they left by 11 o'clock. They never stayed later unless I didn't. Okay, here's the story, right? My manager used to take me home because otherwise, if I missed the train, the manager would have to take me home. So when I wanted to, if I knew I wasn't going to get the train, I'd say, customers, please stay in the restaurant for as long as possible, right? Because then I'd have to stay longer and get paid for staying longer, right? But when it suited me and I needed to get the train because the manager wasn't working on the shift, I'd be like, customers, please leave before 11. Amen. And I'd just be like, doing my shift. And they'd all start to leave. And at 11 o'clock, I'd shut the door and I say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, universe. So it worked in my favor. I kept them in. I told them to fuck off in my mind. So the companies are like, why is it when this Oliver kid's working, there's no customers after 11? Why do the sales go down after 10 when this fucker's working, and when he doesn't, with people coming in till half 11, 12? They couldn't understand. Obviously, I'm just trying to think, like, if you looked at the metrics, you'd see like the patterns, but you can control things with your energy. And tills used to go down when I was there. My energy, my current. Oh, that was it. I used to go to the betting shop with the roulette, and I had the ability to just randomly go into a machine and put £1 on zero, and it used to come in every single time. I used to just like randomly go into the betting shop and be like, watch this. I put £1 on zero, and it used to go zero, £36. And so the cashiers used to watch me come in, put £1 on zero, and go to the till and cash out 36 quid. I just had this ability to know when it was going to come in. Just
Have you
like
ever done this with large sums of money or just small amounts?
I always used to do pounds. I didn't have any money because I was enlightened. I was free spirited. I wanted to be a monk and just live off water. I didn't need money like cash money. It didn't mean shit to me, because that was materialism. So, I used to literally just make my money through just finding. Okay, here's another story. So I used to go into the roulette and put a pound on the number, and it used to come in. I used to walk out. Once I went from machine to machine to machine. I walked out 108 quid in 5 minutes. Anyway, I used to go clubbing, and I used to tell the universe, find me money. So I used to go around the clubs. Everyone's dancing, getting pissed, pulling each other, kissing each other. Yeah, it's an English term for getting off with someone, right? I used to go to the club, spend £5 on the entry, right? I used to walk out with 25 quid because I used to look around on the floor and find money. Okay. But what's important is that I would suddenly get the urge to look down and there's a pound. There's another pound. There's another pound. There's another pound. Pound, 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 pound. I used to sit by the bar and watch and wait for people to drop money because they're so drunk. And money used to fall on the floor. And I used to go, excuse me, coming through, excuse me. I had to crouch down, pick up that pound. So it cost me £5 petrol. I used to get a subway afterwards, £5, or a kebab, £5. It was £5 entry, and I used to go to the casino. I needed like say 10 quid. So my whole night ended up 25 quid's worth being paid for by the money I found on the floor. So I had no money. I paid for my petrol. I got my food. I got my kebab. I got my soda water and lime. Okay. And I used to find more. I used to come out. I used to come back with more money than I came out with, and I didn't even have any money. But I used to find money all over the floor. I used to go from club to club. I like find £20 in that club, £20 in that club, £20 in that club, pound, 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 all over the floor. My jeans used to be full of pounds.
That's so good. I was down to $4 last week or 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, I need $200. And I'm like, universe, I need $200. Give me $200. And then my mom ended up sending me $200 randomly. And then I called the CRA and they're like, you have an uncashed check of $300. And then I got an income tax return of $2,000. So
What?
I'm I asked for $200 and I got $2,500 in a
See, this is
week.
the this is the thing, right? There's two ways you can look at this, right? When you put out a thought frequency, you trigger off someone else. So you trigger off your mum to give you the money. You trigger off an accountant in your government, whatever, to whatever, type in this person's name or focus on people in this part of the town who are owed money, right? So someone's picks up your thought and then they take action. The alternative to that is they've already progressed or processed your check. Your mum was already going to give you £200 just because she loves you and she wanted to. And you're tuning into the thoughts. Hence why the check for the rebate often comes the next day. If you listen to stories about this, right? The tax rebate check where people say, please give me money, and then they get money through the post. It always seems to be the next day. And it makes me think to myself, are they tuning in or are they putting out thoughts and therefore people are being reminded, oh, I owe that person money, or oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to pay off that debt. It's a mixture of both, but it's amazing. That's a typical law of attraction story. How you fucking ask for 200 quid and you get fucking 2,500 quid. It is amazing, but at the same time, unconsciously, you know that every year around this time, that the government give tax rebates. You would have heard people talking about it. You see it on the news, adverts, TV adverts, are you due tax? Have you paid your tax by this date? You already know that unconsciously, but consciously you don't know. So now you're sort of thinking to yourself unconsciously, it's April. This is the time when my friends got their tax rebate. And so you're thinking about it and then it comes. But yeah, it's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I need to keep doing this. And like, oh, and also my landlord gave me $150. So I forgot about that one too. This all
Why?
happened within a week.
Was
I
it for a blowy? Just 50% rent for a blowy, and then he gives you the money back. You're shit. You're pathetic. Here's the money back. I'm on me.
No,
That's
I
blowy.
cleaned the backyard. I cleaned the backyard because it was a nice day and I wanted to spend time in the backyard. And then he's like, "Oh, I'll give you $150." So I guess I did something for that.
Bucks in the backyard. Like, what did you do? Like, plant the flowers, do the weeding, paint the fence, jet wash the floor. Fucking like Jesus,
I
150
cleaned up
quid
the
or
dog
dollars.
shit. I cleaned up the dog shit. There was a lot of dog shit.
I mean, so you put your glove on and picked up the dog shit.
No, I had a bunch of poop bags because I walk dogs.
What's a poop bag?
Poop bag.
I'm English. I don't know what a poop bag is.
It's like a doggy dung bag. You have to pick up the poop when they take a shit in the city.
Isn't a doggy bag the thing a restaurant gives you when you've got too much like food on your plate? You go, excuse me, have you got a doggy bag for my spag bowl? Sir, where's
Yeah.
your dog? No dog place. You shouldn't have a dog. Why do you need a doggy bag for? Well, I'm a bit full up actually, and I need to take my steak home and feed it to my pet parrots. Anyway, so what's a doggy bag?
A doggy bag. It was a poop bag. It's just like something that you use to pick up the dog shit because the dog you can't leave dog shit in the city. You have to pick it up to throw it out in the garbage so that it doesn't get so there isn't dog shit all over the place.
Why can't the foxes eat it at night time and save the council money?
Because there's 3 million people in Toronto, and I would say a third of them have dogs. And if you have 1 million dogs that are shitting in the city, it will turn real disgusting real quick.
Well, why can't they sort of like put soil on the city rather than like concrete and tarmac, and then that poo will become compost and it will fertilize the soil, and then you can plant some flowers and seeds, and you've got lots of flowers in Toronto. Um,
Maybe you should write a letter to Doug Ford. I think that's a great idea. And
I
then
took a
we'd
shit.
save money on plastic for dog shit bags.
Yeah, I took a shit in a field once, and I came back the next day, and it was gone. A fox ate my leftover roast dinner. I mean, he must have liked the sweet corn and the nuts because I had some cashew nuts the night before, and I had a corn on the cob. And as you know, dogs can't digest corn, can they? I don't know whether Canadian dogs can digest corn and nuts, can they?
I have no idea. I feel like people feed their pets so much human food now that they might have evolved to be able to digest things that they never used to be able to. I'm not sure about corn and nuts though.
See, that's a good topic, right? I don't believe that anyone has allergies. I believe that if you give yourself lots of everything, your body will suddenly become tolerant to it. At the same time, the reason why so many kids have new allergies is because they're not being exposed to all the foods that we, for example, and our parents, for example, had growing up. So you've got these bloody vegan mums and their kids wear glasses and they've got a hearing aid and they got a fucking milk allergy, a bread allergy, a nut allergy. These kids have no fucking hope. But that's because the parent is literally giving them fucking spinach and carrots for dinner, right? No wonder your kid has got all these allergies because he's not got a chance to eat nuts and milk and bread to build up a tolerance. Like that's what we've always had, and that's it. Like we become used to those foods so we can digest it. And then when you remove it from your diet for a long period of time, like I have removed, for example, dairy and bread for a long time now, that when I eat it again, I get celiac rash and I get bloated and I feel shit. So my body's reacting for the fact that I've removed all this stuff because I'm on a ketogenic diet now. And I started to eat some bread and I get rash on my elbow. So so that's the thing. If you eat too much of anything, you become prone to it. And if you don't eat it at all, your body doesn't know how to respond. But growing up, right, when we were younger, we had everything, right? We couldn't really communicate at 1 years old how we felt. So our kids were giving us just what food everyone was eating. So, nuts, milk, feeding like cow's milk instead of breast milk, bread, sandwiches. Kids were just eating all that shit. And kids can't really express how they're feeling. So the parent would never know that kid's feeling sick from eating bread or nuts or milk. And now, during that time, they would become immune to eating all these foods, and then they grow up and that's just all that they've ever known. Eat a sandwich, drink milk and stuff. But these kids now, parents are so aware of how foods are affecting people that they're asking kids all the time, how do you feel at 1 year old when you've eaten this banana? Mummy, I feel a bit sick. All right, well, we can't give you bananas again. How about bread? Mummy, I feel a bit sick. Oh, we can't give you bread anymore. How about this cow's milk? Mummy, all right, well, fucking hell, we can't give him anything. My kid's fucking allergic to everything. I give him banana, he feels sick. Give him a bit of bread, he feels sick. I give him some beer, he feels sick. What am I gonna do? My kid can't eat anything. So now that kid has only ever had like water, or if he's lucky, a lettuce leaf in his stomach. So now he goes out to the restaurant. Okay, he has something like, I don't know, a mushroom. Okay, and the chef has put garlic in it. So he has not been exposed to garlic before. So now the kid has he dies because he's had a bit of garlic from his mushroom. Oh, I'm going to sue the company. I'm going to sue the restaurant. You killed my son. It's like, excuse me, you chose to come to this restaurant. Okay, your kid has all these allergies. If he has all these allergies because you're not feeding him stuff to get his immune, up to a certain level, that's your fucking problem. Don't come in my restaurant and expect me to sell vegan food, right? Vegetarian food, food that has gluten-free, food that has dairy-free, food that hasn't got any animals in, and then you got the meat eaters who want meat, 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 and meat. Like, how am I going to supply all this shit? Okay, people are not taking responsibility for their own self. They expect everyone to bow down to them. You go into a restaurant, like a chicken restaurant. It's like my son doesn't eat chicken. Have you got any beef? Sorry, sir, this is the chicken restaurant. Can you see that cock on the wall? Cockerel, chicken. Well, I'm the customer and I want a steak. It's like, excuse me, we don't sell steak. We're a chicken restaurant. Um, Boycott this place. Boycott KFC because they don't sell fucking spaghetti bolognese or they don't sell steak. You know what I mean? That's what the world's coming to.
Mm-hmm. Let you go on your little rant there. I worked in the restaurant industry for 7 years. I understand. People think that they're very entitled. But it's just because not everyone is aware, and I think that's okay too. I've come to an acceptance of not everyone is aware, and like there's different levels of awareness.
Very true. Yeah.
And I don't know. I can feel a lot of compassion for the people that aren't aware, because
Same.
I at a time was not aware, and I used to be an entitled. Well, I guess I wouldn't ever say that I was entitled, but I just understand.
That's the thing, right? I want to help the whole world, but I realize you cannot. So therefore, in life, you either laugh or you cry. I take the piss out of all these things because I'd rather enjoy myself and laugh and find the amusement in everything. Farting, picking your nose, vegan cat, yeah? These people are obviously great people, and if I had a cat, no, and if I was friends with this person who gave his cat vegan food, then we would be great friends, we'd connect, we'd have a little giggle, right? And I would respect their choice, just like every religion. But for me, I'm going to live my life finding the funny side to everything. And it is circumstantial because it's all good talking about this stuff. But then for that person, it is different. And if I was friends with that person, if it was a family member, it would be different. But what you don't know can't harm you. I'm not going to worry about the shit happening over there until I'm over there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, if I see homeless people, I'll buy them all a meal. Okay, I'll get them a haircut, I'll get them new clothes, and I'll make them feel good, and I'll love them, and I'll understand their story and give them compassion, right? When I'm there, when I can see it. But I'm not going to worry about all the homeless stuff in LA, for example. Fucking thousands of homeless people in LA, because I'm here. I can't see it. If I was in LA, for example, and I had the ability to, do something, get them some money, clean them up, give them some hotels, for a month to give them a chance to sort of get back on their feet, 100%. If I had loads of money, I'd buy them some clothes. But I'm not there. So I can take the piss out of it because I can't see it. But if I'm there, it's different. And it's not it's not one way in life. It's circumstantial. It's everything is subjective and objective. It's not just you shouldn't take the piss out of people with allergies because it's not just okay. I won't. No, it's circumstantial. What if I had an allergy and I took the piss out of myself, which allowed me to get over my allergies? I shouldn't have to think about you and your allergies, as a reason why I can't be happy myself right now. Does that make sense? We're made up of so many humans on this planet.
An English term, and I don't understand.
Say again?
You said take the piss out of somebody? What
Take
do
the
you
Mickey.
mean?
Take the Mickey.
What's take the Mickey?
Fuck me. Take the piss, take the Mickey. Make fun of.
Okay.
Make fun of. Yeah. It's all circumstantial. Help the people you can see and you can help. Do the things that you can control. So, like, go and help your 5 neighbors. Go and help 5 people that you can see. Don't try and change the whole world. Every country is a tribe that's grown. We're made up of different tribes, different beliefs, different morals, different biologies, different energies. It's okay to take the piss out of, take the Mickey, in terms of Canada language, make fun of somebody you cannot see. Okay? It's like worrying about a fish in the ocean before a fisherman hooks him out and puts him on your plate. What the fuck am I going to worry about that? It's like worrying about what happens after you die. I don't give a fuck what happens after I die. I'll worry about it then. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've got another podcast in 15 minutes, and I kind of need to have a wee, have a drink, and sort of just calm down a bit because I've been I've been on a rant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so quickly plug anything you want to plug: website, social media, your whatever you want to plug.
What do you mean? Like, you want my
Right.
information?
So anything you want to promote: website, social media,
Oh,
any
my
business
Instagram.
pages.
My Instagram is the fairy godmother 444, and that's like my only major platform. I'm yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna press stop and I'm gonna say goodbye. All right.
Okay.
Wait there. Wait there. Wait there.